so if you see us drop out, know why.
Yep, I talked to her a little while ago. So, let's see, it's should be one of okay, it's 101. Welcome everybody to the October 12th meeting for the Columbus, Ohio chapter of the American Council of the Blind. I am the president, Janae Miller. I want to welcome everybody. I want to let you all know that this meeting is being recorded. So anything that you say will be put out there in the public domain on our YouTube page. So please be mindful. I want to welcome everybody. I hope everyone is doing well. It's good to hear everybody's voice that is here today. Let's enjoy the wonderful weather because by Monday it'll be in the 50s. Uh, so first thing I would like to do is do the roll call per our normal agenda. And so, Sean, would you mind calling out the roll call here on Zoom because we're on Zoom only?
Yes, I can do that.
Thank you.
In no particular order. Janae, Larry and Nikki Hansen, Lee Tucker, Mary Carabinas, Shirley and Lynn Roberts, Ed Snively, Erwin Hott, Connie Standing Clear, Kathy Withman, Angela Brown, Denise Bauman, Katie Frederick, Michelle Spillane, Monica Williard, Patrick Simmons, Vicky Prayan, Gail Baldwin, Julie Russell, Mike Russell, and John Hill, all from the same location. Margot Muse, and that should be everyone.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And Ed, I will give you a hand. Monica's last name is Willyard, and she is a new member, I believe, if everything is sorted out.
Yes, everything is sorted
It
out.
is. It's sorted.
It is.
Okay.
And so welcome Monica to the Columbus, Ohio chapter of the American Council of the Blind of Ohio.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you. Yes, yes, ma'am. Okay. So next thing we want to do, has everyone had a chance to view the meeting minutes from last month's meeting? Anybody have any questions or concerns about or corrections to the meeting minutes from last month's meeting?
I do. I accidentally muted myself. Hopefully the recording is okay. Two corrections. Rachel Fetzko's name is misspelled. Her last name, I believe it is Fetsco, but we can check on that.
It's KO.
Oh, KO. Okay,
Yep.
sorry about that.
I think it's K. It might even be KOE.
No, it's Fetsko.
KO. Okay.
And also, during the ACB Ohio report, the H was left out of Michelle's first name.
Mary Lynn has joined the meeting.
And Mary Lynn is here.
Hello, Mary Lynn.
Welcome.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
one clarification in the minutes. I'm not sure if it rises to the level of well, actually, it does rise to the level of correction. In the area where we're explaining the $500 donation to ACBI for the convention and the $50 stipend for Thursday attendees, that motion actually got passed, and that part was left out.
Okay.
And I apologize, Ed. I only noticed that today.
Okay. Okay.
So
Thank
we
you,
have
Lynn.
So we have a raised hand from the Russells and John. If you could let
Okay.
us know which one of you is speaking first.
It's
Yes.
just me, and as a greeter, is there any way I can get Miss Monica's phone number so that I can give her a greeting?
I can.
Yeah, if you're okay with that. Yeah, Janae can arrange that.
Yeah, I can email it too because I don't know if Monica wants to give her number out over the Zoom right now. It's up to Monica.
Okay.
But if not, I can email it to Julie?
I would think that would probably be the best thing to do.
Yeah, I can email it. I'll email it to you, Julie, okay?
Julie's kind of, wanting to, meet
I'm
new
sorry, I was
members and
muted.
find
Yes,
out.
that's fine.
Okay, I'll email to you today or tomorrow, okay? All right, if there are any other corrections to the meeting minutes from last month's meeting? Is there if not, is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes with corrections?
I'll make that motion, Erwin.
Erwin has made
Gail Baldwin.
and Gail Baldwin has seconded the motion to accept the meeting minutes as corrected. Everybody in favor, please look, I'm trying to think how to do this. We're on Zoom. Can we everybody just kind of come off Zoom and say aye? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
On.
Okay, is there anybody opposed? Okay, thank you. The motion carries. All right. At this time, we will have the treasurer report from Mr. Lee Tucker.
And so this is the report, financial report for October 11th, 2024, covering the period September 14th, 2024 to October 11th, 2024. Checking account ending balance is $16,011.34, a decrease of $1,292.01. Deposited were a $5 membership payment from ACB Ohio for Tanya Walker. And also we had to handle this a different way. We got a Zelle payment from Dustin Grandstaff as a donation for PHP fund of $100. And down in the expenses, you'll see where that gets transferred over the PHP account. And mentioning expenses, the chapter donated $500 to the ACB Ohio Indiana Convention. There was a charge card payment of $159.90 that was for Zoom. The AT&T phone line, the constant $16.11. And the aforementioned transfer to the PHP fund out of the checking account of $100. And 50-cent Zelle fee. And outstanding checks that haven't been cashed to Mary Lynn are $45, and the 50 cents of Zelle fee hasn't been charged yet. I mean, that was outstanding. And there was an outstanding check for the first aid class of $621. That was cashed. The charge card was used this month for Kroger cards, $125. And for stamps, we needed more stamps for the membership mailing of $36.50. And the aforementioned payment of $159.90 was made. People Helping People account ending balance is $2,399.48, an increase of $100 from the donation by Dustin. Savings account ending balance $6,244.32, no change. Columbus Foundation estimated market value as of yesterday was $95,317.51, which has increased since December 31st of $3,043.33. And the spring grant that we received from the Columbus Foundation was $5,658.47. The fall grant was $1,293.95. Now, if you add those two up together, you almost got $7,000, and our fund is up $3,000. So that means the funds that we have in the Columbus Foundation actually increased by $10,000 this year. So, and as for comparison's case, last year the Columbus Foundation granted us $6,400.50. The payout of the engagement benefit to this year to date is $850.
Dash busy. Dash but walking has joined the meeting.
All right. And Janae and I have not gone to the Huntington National Bank. That was delayed because I was sick. And also we do have
to activate, press enter.
Right, and we do have the document that they required of us last time. Who knows if there will be another document they require of us? That's just how that's been rolling. And that concludes the treasurer's report.
Any questions for Lee regarding his treasurer's report? And no, any questions, any concerns? If,
Space.
if not, I would like for us to, during this time,
Enter
especially
minimize
since
mute my microphone button.
Somebody's screen reader speech is coming through very clearly.
well, they're trying to mute, so
If I
if
mute,
there's
if I mute you, it's not that I don't like you. It's just we're trying to cut down background noise. So just so people are aware.
okay, thank you, Sean. If no one has any concerns at the moment for Lee, I think it might be a good idea, especially since Lynn and Shirley have to leave early, to have the discussion at this time regarding the Christmas celebration.
Well, we still need to vote on.
Oh, yeah, okay,
That would
okay,
be good. Yeah.
okay. So
I would make a motion that the treasurer's report be approved as read.
as read, is there someone who'd like to make a second to that motion?
This is Ed. I'll second it.
Okay, Ed is going to second it. All in favor, please come off mute and say aye.
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 Are there anyone opposed? Okay, thank you so much. The motion has carried. Okay, now I would
Mute
like,
my microphone button.
okay, now I would like to have the if Lee could share the discussion regarding the Christmas dinner. We sent out an email letting you all know the two possible options for a Christmas gathering in December on the second Saturday of December, which is December the 14th. And our two options are the Opera House, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's where we were last
Off-Brown
year.
House.
Thank you. That's where we were last year. It was the German restaurant, which was really good. And also the Rusty Bucket on North High Street. We were there probably about 2 or 3, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago for I think our summer gathering.
And neither of these venues have been reserved. It's we have whichever one we choose today, it may not be there when we call the restaurant up. So when we make the motion, what we need to do, whichever one we choose, part of the motion has to be that if that one actually is gone, then we have to go to the other restaurant. Attendance is limited to, both have a limited menu to choose from. The Hofbrauhaus menu being about the same as last year, with 4 main course items and a dessert. It would be the same at the Rusty Bucket. There would be 4 main course items, the appetizer items, and some kind of dessert. I don't know. Probably I don't have a specific menu for them.
Connecting to audio.
And in both cases, the alcoholic beverages would be the people would have to open a tab. Attendance would be limited to chapter members, blind or visually impaired residents of Central Ohio, and 1 sighted companion per group. That's basically how we've done it before. And we're limited to 50 people at each venue. And you would have to call or email to reserve your place. Both venues are in Coda bus lines. And the chapter, just I left out of the email I sent this out, but I would intend for the chapter to pay the cost of the meals this year, except for, of course, alcoholic beverages.
So
what
I would like to open it up for any questions or short discussion regarding this.
One of the concerns I have with Hofbrauhaus is the acoustics in the room that we were in were very difficult. It was very echoey and very difficult to hear one another. I don't know if Rusty Bucket would be any better, but that was something that I remember finding slightly disconcerting last year.
Well, the Rusty Bucket, we would be out on their patio, which during that time of the year, it's outdoors and it's heated.
Mhm.
So that's where we would be.
Okay.
So we do get to hear the buses on the bus line, but I don't recall that being a huge issue in the summer anyway.
Oh,
'Cause
I'm
we were
sorry.
2 summers in a row.
I'm sorry. Katie's hand is raised and has been
It
for a
is.
minute, and I apologize.
No problem. I was just gonna make a motion and then we can also have discussion if people want, but I move that we pursue the Rusty Bucket first with the other option second if Rusty Bucket is not available for the party.
I second.
Space.
Gail Baldwin.
Okay.
Under 5, Jenny Miller connected to audio. Connecting to audio.
So that's the motion on the floor. Is there any discussion regarding this motion?
Enter minimize button. Mute my microphone button.
Renee,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to sort that out.
I have no choice to raise my hand, so I'll just say it. Raise my hand. Mary Lynn.
Okay. Marilyn,
Are we wanting to just do the ayes like we normally do, or are we
yeah,
wanting
we can
to
just say
actually-
ayes, so that people have to, if they don't know how to raise their hand, they could just say aye like we've done for everything else, a voice vote.
Okay.
That would probably be easier.
Katie, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
This Ed,
Hi, Ed.
Katie, why do you prefer the Rusty Bucket?
I just think
Connecting
it's
to audio. Katie
think it's
Frederick is
a little
connecting
bit
to audio.
closer to a little bit easier to get to for people. I also personally prefer their food, but that's just a personal choice. And again, I made the motion to start discussion, and
to audio.
we have two choices, so I
Katie
just
Frederick is
opted
connecting
to
audio and cannot hear
um,
you.
Okay, the person whose screen reader is talking about connecting
Echo
audio,
Columbus
please
Chapter
mute your
connecting
speech.
to audio.
Insert
Yeah,
space followed
that
by
is
S.
Mary Lynn. That is
Okay,
Mary
I've-
Lynn.
Katie, thank you.
All right, then we'll.
yeah. So it's just a personal preference. I just wanted to put a motion out there on the table, and then the chapter, people can discuss, and we can vote. So.
Yeah, and thank you, Katie. And I also, by the way, prefer the Rusty Bucket.
Me too.
Me too. Mike too.
So does she need a second on that motion?
Button.
You seconded it, Gail. So you're
Seconded,
good.
Gail.
Oh, I
We're just having
already did.
discussion right now. Yes, ma'am. We're just having discussion
I'm
right now.
anxious.
Connecting to audio. Katie Frederick is connecting to audio and cannot hear you yet. Enter mute my microphone button.
I also
Sorry, I didn't mean to mute you, but your computer's talking, and that's very distracting.
Well, I think she was trying to say something too.
I know. I unintentionally muted you.
Mary Carabina's hand is up.
Yes, sorry about that.
I know you're busy. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hi, okay, so once we decide that we want to, well, we've already decided to try the Rusty Bucket first. So where do we go from here? Somebody calls and gets us on the schedule?
Yes.
And then we let everybody know, yes, Rusty
Yes.
Bucket is it.
Yes, I will call them when the meeting concludes.
Yes.
Okay,
So we've already spoken to both, and so we need to mention not just that but the cost of it as well, Lee.
Last year, what we spent at Hofbrau House was in the area of $2,000. I would expect about the same as the Rusty Bucket.
Wow.
That's pretty typical, really. Keep going back in history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds about right.
Of
That's about
Christmas Day.
average. Yeah.
Yeah. And this would, by the way, be about the last year where the chapter would support the whole meal. After that, we should have used up our excess money, in my opinion, personally, excess money that we accumulated during the pandemic. But that's up for the finance committee to figure out.
Julie's hand is raised.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Julie.
Oh, hi. WAS gives everyone $25 and they buy what they want when we go for our Christmas parties now. Because it just makes it so much easier especially for the treasurer. You just give them an envelope with $25, you're done.
That sounds harder to me. Giving the Rusty Bucket one check sounds a lot easier to me than collecting 25
Oh, I'm
every
sorry.
individual person.
Not just that, but if you want to give certain things don't really cost just $25 anymore either.
Well, it's not off the menu. There would be
Oh,
like
it's not off the menu. Okay.
there'd be like 4 choices. I just don't happen to know what they are.
Okay, gotcha. Could
Shirley
remember
and
if that
Lynn.
was off the menu or not.
Shirley and Lynn's hand is raised.
Yes, the Roberts. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And
I may have missed it. Somebody said we already had made the choice, but I don't think we've actually
haven't voted.
voted.
We're just having a discussion right now.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought, but I heard somebody say we had already decided, and I didn't think
No,
we had yet.
that's
So I
not
just want
what
to
I
make sure
meant.
I didn't miss it. No, you didn't. I know.
Right. Okay.
But anyway, I just wanted to make sure that I, didn't misunderstand something. So I appreciate that. And you said we don't have the menu choices of either place, correct?
No, not at the moment. We will,
Not
and we will
not the
send that
Rusty
out.
Bucket. Last year it would be the same choices as the Hofbrau.
Right.
House, if
Right.
we went with that.
Yeah, I understand. Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess I would like to. It seems like we've gotten a lot of opinions, so maybe we can call for the vote pretty soon here.
Yeah, we'll get ready to do that because I'm just giving a little. I'll take one more other comment and then we will vote. If I don't hear any other requests for comments, we're going to take a vote. Not hearing anything, so all in favor of Katie's motion and Gail's second to go with the Rusty Bucket. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Is there anyone who is opposed? Not hearing anything. I hear that the motion is carrying. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And I will call immediately after the meeting and schedule and pay our down payment.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. At this time, next on our agenda is our committee reports. I would like to start off.
Point of order, and actually it's not really a point of order today, but we should congratulate Margot Muse and Rachel Fesco for the work that they put in on
Yes,
that.
I do want
Otherwise,
to
we would not have any choices at all.
Okay, so yes,
Thank you so much.
So thank you to Rachel Fesco and Margot Muse for your research for the chapter regarding the looking for the places for the Christmas dinner. We really appreciate it because Rachel reached out to the one location for the Rusty Bucket for us, and Margot had looked up the Hopper House back in August. So thank you both. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, at this time, again, I would like to go and have our committee reports, and I would like to start off with the Sunshine Committee report, please.
Okay, this is Kathy Withman.
Yes,
Can you hear
ma'am.
me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First, I would like to start by saying from the membership, thank you very much to Larry and Nikki Hanscom for all the wonderful work they did over the years in charge of the Sunshine Committee.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Amen.
And
Thank you.
you're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
for everything you did. And then I would also like to thank Mary Lynn for filling in for a short period of time. And then what we've been trying to do is figure out who had something happen in their lives in the interim. And we found 3 people. And the first is Barbara Corner. And she stayed overnight in the hospital and had, well, she was supposed to have a surgery that didn't happen, but it's going to happen some other time. And then Troy Sullivan had COVID and was hospitalized. And then Sandy Mollett, I talked to her this week, and her voice was very weak, and she said she spent 8 days in the hospital, and she's when she came home, she was having a hard time walking, so now she's walking with a walker. And so those are the three people that we're going to send a Kroger card to. Also, the traveling sunshine box will make one more trip. It'll be from Lee's house to Mary Highland's house on Tuesday. And then Mary is going to, go through the box and get everything straightened out. And Lee has gotten us some more gift cards. So by maybe Thursday, we should have everything up and running for the Sunshine Committee. And make sure if something happens to you or your family, make sure you let somebody know about it, because we want to acknowledge your condition or your grief. And the let's see, the members are Gail Baldwin, Mary Highland, Kathy Withman, and Tanya from Springfield. So those are the people you can notify if you have something occur in your life. And I think that's my report.
If I can add something, I think that even though he didn't spend any time in the hospital, we should acknowledge Lee being under the weather. And that's just my
right.
suggestion. That
Right.
we're on Zoom because Lee's been under the weather, so we should acknowledge our treasurer and his
Right.
Still alive.
he's still here, but we want to acknowledge that he has been under the weather. So,
Thank you.
So thank you, Kathy, and thank you, ladies, for the Sunshine Committee report. Next, Miss Denise for the PHP. Is Denise Bauman here today?
She is here and currently muted at the moment. We'll give her a minute.
All right.
There you are.
We'll give it a second try.
Yep.
No new news to report PHP wise. I will initiate an opportunity for the committee to convene just to go over anything that we want to cover before the year end.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next, the nomination committee.
Okay, it's Irwin, and thank you very much for Gail Baldwin and Angela working with me to try to come up with nominations, and we had some success. One of the things we found is that for secretary, temporarily, Ed is willing to carry on for a short period of time. Now, what short means, nobody really knows, but we need to try to find someone else who will do secretary on a more permanent basis. So that's something you should be thinking about, and see who else we can come up with. And I don't know offhand of anybody. We've asked lots of people, and we just don't have anybody for a long-term period for secretary. So it's something we need to think about. And if anybody has any suggestions, that would be really helpful. Let me see where my braille display is is messing up here, so I'm having a hard time reading it.
Scrolling.
Yeah.
That's what I used to have to do when I taught to
Yeah,
let people
right,
know
right.
when I was having this problem.
Yeah. So anyway, for president, why braille display totally disappeared. But anyway, at this point, oh geez, my memory is going along with my display. We have Miss Miller is our recommendation for president, and Sean and Melody have agreed to continue in their current positions. So that's where we stand at this point for our nominations. And I don't know if anybody has any questions or comments at this point. Essentially, we make our nominations at this meeting, and then we have elections at the next meeting, as I understand it. So
Yes, that would be correct.
So our job is really just to come up with recommendations and vote to accept those, and then move on to the next meeting.
I have some comments.
Tanya's hand is raised.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am interested in helping with the secretarial role. If somebody will give me a list of what you want the secretary to do. I am low vision with diabetes.
Okay, well, that's wonderful.
That's Tanya from Springfield.
Okay.
That's speaking.
Okay. So what we'll need to do is
Monica has left the meeting.
have somebody get together with you and talk about what the position entails, so you have some idea of what you would be getting into, and then you certainly can be nominated at the next meeting. So that would be wonderful if it's something you feel you can do. And we would certainly encourage you to talk to anybody you need to talk to find out what's involved. And then you certainly can be nominated at the next meeting.
Who is the current secretary, or who was the past secretary? Maybe I can talk to them.
Currently, it's Ed Snively.
Yeah.
Ed, could you?
I'm glad to talk with you, Tanya.
Thank
you. Tanya, this is Katie Frederick. I've also served as secretary, so I'm willing to talk if you'd like.
Thank you.
But yes, that would be absolutely wonderful if you would be interested.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, Tanya, for stepping up. Thank you so much.
I should email Katie and Ed and just talk to them on the phone.
Yes, if you have
that will work. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll
Vicky's
work it
hand
out.
is raised.
Vicky?
And when does the new term start for your new officers?
The new year.
January.
Yeah.
Yeah, the term is a 2-year term starting at the January meeting and extending through, let's see, that'd be 2026, 2027.
Yep.
Sorry, 2025, 2026.
Monica has left the meeting.
Vicky's hand is raised.
Okay, sounds fine.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Erwin. Vicky has her hand raised. Miss Vicky?
I just wanted to say I've also served as secretary, so I'd be glad to talk to her also. So, among the three of us, she ought to get something.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we need a motion, I suspect, to
Yes, we do.
approve
Yes.
the
This is Katie. I move that we accept the slate as Erwin presented it.
Lee Tucker, I second.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All in favor, please say
Well,
aye.
let's ask if there's any discussion.
Is there any
perhaps.
discussion? So hold on, stop. Okay. So hold on. Is there any discussion regarding the slate?
Can you go over the slate again? Because it was kind of a little bit sketchy
So
on my part.
The slate is currently, the recommendation is for Janae Miller for president. Ed Snively has agreed to stay on as secretary for a short while. Tanya Walker is putting her name in the secretary hat.
Okay, well, we don't talk about that now.
Right,
because
right.
that's not an official nomination.
Right, that's not official. Okay.
And then Sean and Melody have agreed to continue their service.
Okay, as board of directors.
Right, as board of directors.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I see.
When you say board of directors, you mean board of directors for the state chapter?
No.
No.
Columbus.
For the
Columbus
No,
chapter.
this is all Columbus.
Yes.
Yeah, let me put you in the picture there, Tanya. There's a president, vice president, a treasurer, a secretary, and 5 board members, of which 2 are being taken care of this year, 3 next year, and the past president. So that is 10 board members for the local chapter.
So in the course of a month, there's a monthly membership meeting, and then there's also a monthly board meeting. Is that correct?
We're lucky if we had board meetings, but no. If we should have 4 meetings a year, but we've been sort of lax there.
They kind of just happen as needed, basically.
Yeah, it's periodic, but well advanced scheduled. So,
Is the secretary the one that schedules the meetings?
Currently president.
Oh, the president schedules all the meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Katie's hand is raised.
Yes, Miss Frederick.
So I just want to clarify something for Tanya and anyone else that's wondering. So the monthly membership meetings, chapter meetings, are these, the second Saturday meetings, where you would take notes essentially of what happened at the meeting. The other monthly calls that you've attended, Tanya, the second Thursday monthly calls, those are at the state level. So those are for anyone that wants to join, but those are state level calls, and we don't keep minutes of those because it's not a chapter; it's just a gathering of people. So as secretary of the chapter, you're responsible for the monthly meetings, and then any board meeting that may be called, which is again pretty rare. Usually one maybe 2 meetings a year or so.
And could I send an auditory reading to people who need to hear those as opposed to something in writing? Would that be acceptable?
My opinion would be no. We would need to have something like a Word document or a text document or something, because it's an official corporate record and we have to store it in perpetuity, like forever. So
if someone wants the meeting minutes read to them, we could arrange for them to call somebody and read them.
It could be read.
I would be happy to do that if somebody really wants to hear them read aloud. I'd be happy to do that.
And I can do the same thing as well, but we have to have them written.
iPhone has left the meeting.
Yeah, but I apologize. What I was referring to is the recording of the minutes. They do have to make it to text somehow.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay. Any other questions before we do the approve the motion?
Hearing no hands are raised, Sean, either?
None at this point.
Okay, so we will now take a vote. All in favor that we accept the slate as read, please say aye.
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 Aye, sorry. Unmuted, now I'm unmuted.
You're
Aye.
good.
Okay, great.
You're good.
Well, thank you
Anyone
everybody
opposed?
for your help. Oh, sorry.
I was saying anyone who's opposed? Hearing no voices, the motion has carried. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks all the
Thank you,
committee
Gail, and
members
thank
for
you,
their
Angela, as well.
help. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Now,
We
throughout
tried.
throughout that
Yes.
process,
You're a good group.
throughout that process, we have had someone, Julia Phelps. I don't know. Is
That's our
is our
speaker.
speaker? Okay.
Yes, that's our speaker. So,
And we had someone iPhone, but they never got their audio sorted out, so I couldn't find out who they were. So maybe they'll come back.
okay. So moving on, we heard from the Finance Committee last month. Does the Finance Committee have a report at all for this month? If not, we can move on to ACB Ohio.
There was no finance committee meeting this month, partly because of illness and partly because I think Patrick will later talk about the Unity Committee. We'll find out here in a minute. Anyhow, that would be all I have to say.
Okay. Someone's chiming in. Patrick, aka Uncle Sean, do you have anything that you want to talk about that you want to wait and talk about at the next meeting?
Audio.
I thought that would be under new business.
Under new business? Okay, we'll hold off until then. Thank you. Just hold on for 1 second. Michelle, can we have the ACB Ohio report, please?
Okay. First, on behalf of ACB Ohio, I would like to say massive thanks for the $500 donation to the convention. It is much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. Another announcement is convention, of course, coming up in Indianapolis, October 25, 26, 27th. And I just found out this morning that registration has been extended until Monday, the 14th at 4 p.m. So let's see what else. And in terms of travel from Columbus, we're going to be leaving on Thursday, the 24th at 1, and we have room. So if anybody is still interested in going to convention, they can register and come with us.
Any news regarding any update regarding the hotel? When you say register, what about hotel accommodations as well?
Great point. There are 2 King hotel rooms left, and those are at the $139 a night plus tax. So 2 King hotel rooms left.
And could you remind us what hotel this is as well, please, Michelle?
It is Crown Plaza Airport.
Okay, thank you so much. Are there any questions for Michelle?
Yeah.
I have 2 Zoom things real quick. We have someone that is showing as iPhone. If you could please unmute and let us know who you are. Okay. While we're waiting on that, Mary Carabina's hand is also
Let me
raised.
see if I'm.
Yeah, you were unmuted. You're fine.
I didn't know.
Yep. You're
Okay. I know there was an issue about the I don't want to be blunt, the bed situation where there would be like only one king size bed and then a rollaway. Was that all figured out?
We did get that figured out, I believe.
Okay.
But now there's only only kings left. So no more double rooms for sure. But I believe we do have the issue for those. There were, I think,
left
3
the meeting.
rooms where they wanted double beds, but they only had kings, and I believe we have that sorted out. And I will send you
good.
your new confirmation number, Mary.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Thank you. All right, that's it.
Okay.
The person
Oh.
who is iPhone, what you may
Let
need to
them
do
know.
before you can unmute is to find the mute button and flick to your left to choose the OK button to consent to being recorded. And after you've done that, then that may be why you are unable to mute currently. There are no other raised hands.
Okay. If there's no other questions or comments for Michelle, I'd like to thank Michelle for the ACB Ohio report. At this time, I'd like to see if there's any unfinished business.
I have a question. For the Sunshine Committee, does the giving only pertain to people who are active ACBO members?
Anybody that's a member.
Okay.
A membership.
Only okay. Yeah, I just happen to know someone who's blind and he's really sick and he's been in the hospital. But I guess I need to ask, is he a member? I'm not sure. So who do I just need to ask? Lee, or who do I need to talk to about?
You can
Lee
ask
would
me.
be the person.
Okay. Just ask now or after after?
After you can just
After the
hang out in the
meeting.
meeting.
Okay.
For a while,
All
or
right.
just call me. Yep.
Okay.
I'll
Thank
call
you.
Okay.
Yeah, you might call him.
Okay.
Anyone else with any unfinished business?
You say unfinished business or new business?
No, this is unfinished right now.
We'll come to the other in just a second.
I'm not hearing any responses
No
for
hands.
unfinished business. No hands?
That is correct.
Okay. Now is there anything for new business?
Yes, there's something for new business.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to propose to the membership and our leaders that we create a collage art group. And I say collage art group simply because I'm registered with the Ohio Arts Council and I'm in my 3rd grant cycle, and I've become aware by working with an organization called Art Possibilities and working with the John F. Kennedy National Art Center called Very Special Arts, there is an interest and a demand for those with visual disabilities and blindness to contribute to the museum art exhibitions. Seeing that we are representative of the capital of Ohio area and seeing that the National Endowment of the Arts is bringing forth a Very Special Arts Conference to Cleveland next summer, and considering that I've been invited to submit a proposal, I would love my friends and peers in the Columbus chapter of the American Council of the Blind to participate with me on a small committee, but we will discuss. We will discuss and plot and plan. I have my low vision equipment, devices, and lenses, and we will come up with a concept and we will create something in my studio or somewhere at the Columbus Museum or somewhere in the state capitol and have it in a traveling exhibition to up to 5 or 6 or 7 museums in the state of Ohio to represent the American Council of the Blind or to represent those of us who are members of the Columbus chapter, so people become educated and aware of our experience.
Thank you, Tanya. Um, those who may be interested in being involved in this project, can they reach out to you if they have any questions, Tanya?
Yes, and let me explain what collage art is. Collage art, and I'm going back to my special ed years in the classroom, means you bring something forth to the committee. It could be a shoe, it could be a cup out of your cabinet, it could be a sock stuffed with rocks, but we take those items and we create a standing sculpture. And I will polish it, I will finish it, and you guys will all contribute in some form or fashion. And we submit that. And then once it's submitted, it goes on sale. And once it goes on sale and travels, if we decide we want to sell that for $500, they're going to mark it up 30%. All that money comes back to the chapter. Or we can come up with another goal for the money once the item sells. And there are collectors. There are 5 museums that work with art possibilities funded by the state of Ohio. And I know Megan, I'm going to be at the Columbus Museum on the 16th. I've invited Janae to go with me. All of the state museum people will be there.
Join the meeting.
And they are very interested. I went to the meeting at the Toledo Museum of Art. And we were not sufficiently represented at those meetings.
So what it sounds like, this could be an opportunity as a nice fundraiser for the chapter.
It could be a fundraiser. It could be a growth opportunity. There are workshops. There are museum exhibitions where our community should be represented. Vision, no vision, no vision. I know how to work with organic clay. I went to 2 art colleges. There are things we can do with clay, wood, threads, fabric strips. We can do things with beads. There's a variety of things we can do. We can lay out 30 beads on a table and everybody choose their own beads and thread them. And then we take those beads and we create something going forth from there. And there are sighted artists. There are teaching artists through the through the Ohio Arts Council who will also work with us.
Oh, I think we have a hand raised.
Katie's hand is raised.
Yes, Katie.
Yeah, so I don't know if we really need a motion for this, but I'm happy to try to help. I am familiar with Art Possibilities. It's a cool organization. Their mission is working with artists with disabilities, and I think it's awesome to try to get more people who are blind or low vision in the arts. And like Tanya said, there's a lot of stuff we can do. So
Where'd you go?
Yeah,
can you hear me?
we don't have to do just one collage piece. We can do
Katie,
4
you keep
collages.
fading in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not close enough to my system. We can do more than one. We could maybe come up with one theme and then do a second one. How many of us have glasses laying around the house? We could bring all our glasses. I must have 12 pair of lenses, old lenses, new lenses, sun lenses. And we could do a head sculpture and put glasses on it. I mean, there's a variety of ways to express our experience.
Angela's hand is raised.
Yeah, hi. If I wanted to join,
Danny Miller has left the meeting.
Sad.
Okay. Janae's currently probably reconnecting, I would imagine.
This is for Tanya. Tanya,
Yes.
where will we do this at?
When we have our meetings in person in Columbus, we could meet at that same place and talk about it. I would do what's called bold print sketching, and I would do what's called raised sketching, where the surface of the paper is raised and people could feel a little bit better than what someone else may see.
Yeah, no. I mean, where will we actively, if we're going to do this and put this together, what location are we going to be at?
Well, I would knock on the door of Ohio State's. I would knock on the door of Ohio State's art department. I graduated from University of Cincinnati. I did professional work at Michigan State. I would go straight into the dean of the art college or the head of the art college and ask for their support.
Point of order. We have lost our president, and I recommend that the vice president take over the meeting at this point.
Oh, she's coming back. Hang on. She's in the waiting room. Here she is.
Penny Miller has joined the meeting.
There she is.
Yay.
Maybe.
Yes, she should be here.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yep.
Now,
Yep,
yes.
your net fell over, but
Sorry,
you're
I
back.
don't know what happened.
That's all right. Your internet fell over, but you're back.
Well, Janae, someone asked a question, where would we do some of the work? And I suggested to her, this is Angela, that we knock on the door of the dean of the art college at Ohio State. And we're going to have to work with somebody in their sculpture department because they have all the equipment, they have the wood shop, and they have the students who probably need some extracurricular field work.
We probably need to make a phone call and see if that's possible and see if there's a space that they'll be willing to donate some space time for us to come do that. That's an option. And then maybe the School for the Blind might be another place that's familiar that people know how to get to. That's on the bus line. If people are interested, we can even reach out to them and see if that's a spot as well.
One thing I would kindly point out is that we do not have the meeting space at the church for any times other than the business meetings that we have. If you guys want to form a committee, we can certainly schedule and use this Zoom room for such a committee to meet and discuss things. But we don't have access to the church at any other times other than when our meetings normally are. So, you know, I or Lee or one of us would be happy to help host a meeting for such a committee on Zoom, but that's the only way we can do that.
Yeah, and like I said, it would be great if we had a community arts committee. That would be nice. And then, like I said, reach out for those who are interested and see if either the place at Ohio State or the School for the Blind would be would allow us a space to do that for maybe a couple hours, once a week or once a month, however that comes together. That's just my suggestion. It's a good idea. It's a very good idea.
What I would do is I would develop what's called art forms and bring the art forms into our meeting area or ask the art college to preserve those and set them aside. And we can get this done in 2, 3, or 4 hours. We don't need to meet any sooner than that. And everyone would just have to bring their item. This is collage art. It's a professional art form. It's a competitive art form. And what I like is once we get something finished, it will compete against other artists in the state and it will be juried. That's how we get that's how we sell it, and that's how we get the most money from it. And as people with low vision, as people of blindness, if somebody has an old Braille book, we can take an old Braille book, we can paint the pages with different types of forms, and it becomes art. There's a variety of ways we can approach it.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Thank you, Tanya, for sharing. Is there anyone else that has any new business?
The person who's in the Zoom is iPhone, and is connected to audio now, could you please unmute and let us know who you are for attendance purposes?
And I'll take one more thing for new business. It's 2:00.
All done.
Janae,
Yes.
I'll just table what I was going to bring up to the next meeting since it's 2:00.
Okay, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. That's if you're okay with that, we can do that. Table it for the November meeting. We'll give you the floor to talk about that.
All right.
Okay.
No problem.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to have someone make a motion that to adjourn the meeting.
This is Sean. I so move.
Lee Tucker, I second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you all for attending. Now, don't go anywhere. We have Julia Phelps from the Columbus Speech and Hearing Center. She's going to talk with us.
Attending now. Don't go there. We have
going to talk with us for a few minutes about the services that the Columbus Speech and Hearing Center offer for those who are deaf-blind, who may be needing services as we age, and most of us we all have a vision loss. But when our hearing changes, then what do we do? Where do we go for services? And I asked her to come and just share some of the services that are available that people may not be aware are out there that the Speech and Hearing Center has, and some that are on its.
Katie Frederick has left the meeting. Denise Bowman has left the meeting.
I have another commitment, but I will be with you guys at the next meeting.
Okay, give me a second to make sure. Julia
Springfield Show has left the meeting.
This is Julia Phelps. I'm still
There you
here.
are. Okay, there you are.
So we'll let Julia go ahead and get started with her presentation. Thank you, Julia, so much for being here and sharing the services that the Speech and Hearing Center has that people may not be aware that's available to them.
Absolutely. I am so happy to be here, and thank you so much, Janae, for inviting me. As Janae said, my name is Julia Phelps, and I've lived in Central Ohio my whole life. I live here with my husband and my teenage son, and I work for Columbus Speech and Hearing. I've worked for them for 8 years. And I am program manager of our support service provider program, which is a program for the deaf-blind. And interestingly, when I was a child, my family raised 2 seeing eye dogs, and we raised a litter of pups. Actually, that's what they were called back then. So I don't believe that that's what they're called now.
iPhone has left the meeting.
To share with you about our program, we have a program called Support Service Provider, or Co-Navigator. They are services for individuals who have combined vision and hearing loss. We know there's a spectrum of vision loss, and there's also a spectrum of hearing loss. And the Support Service Provider Program, or SSP program, is for individuals with that combined vision and hearing loss. And we've kept the definition very broad so we can touch as many lives as possible. So it just has to be a combined vision and hearing loss that is severe. Some of the services that the SSP can do, they can transport the individual with combined vision and hearing loss on different errands, help guide them, help them go to the bank, different appointments, social outings, checking emails, exercising, or voting. And for the purpose of this information, I'm just going to use the word deaf-blind because it's going to be a lot easier than me saying combined vision and hearing loss. But please know that means a spectrum of combined vision and hearing loss. So currently, Columbus Speech and Hearing runs the only SSP programs in Ohio. We have 2 different programs. One is funded through the Franklin County Senior Options Program. That has been around for years, and it's a stable program that we anticipate will stay around for a really long time. However, it's limited. It is limited to Franklin County residents who are senior citizens living in independent housing, and it's on a sliding fee scale. So it depends on how much income the individual has. So they have to pay a portion of that. The typical hours are between 6 and 15 hours per month for that program. The second program we have is called the Ohio Statewide SSP Pilot Program. The funding started in July of 2024, and it will run through, July 2023, and it will run through June of 2025. We are hoping that the legislators will see all the progress that we've made and will continue the funding. However, we have to go back and ask them for the funding. So this program serves all Ohio residents who are 18 years or older. There is no restriction on housing, and there is no cost to the deafblind individuals. Currently, we have a variety of hours. We originally budgeted for 10 individuals to receive 16 hours per month. But what we're seeing is a lot of individuals have a lot of varying needs, and some maybe don't need the full 16. So we've split it up, and now we're serving, I believe we are up to 21 individuals, and then, 22 individuals, and then an additional 7 deafblind individuals in a nursing home here in Westerville, Ohio. The neat story about Columbus Speech and Hearing is we are a nonprofit. We have been around since 1923, and we were established as the League for the Hard of Hearing. And then last year, 100 years later, there was a grassroots effort that went to the legislators. This group of individuals asked for funding for deafblind services, and we received $100,000 per year for 2 years to touch the entire state, which is not a lot of money. But we're really proud of the progress that we've made. So the goal was to have a statewide program, and we have touched 4 major cities and then some areas around those major cities. But the funding method
Mary Hansen has left the meeting.
The funding method is passed through from OOD. We have involved the deafblind community in growing and establishing this program through what we call an advisory committee. And then we've also created a really strong foundation for eligibility and guidelines, and then also a lot of different connection events. We know that
audio now unmuted.
I'm
sorry, I was trying to get someone else muted and I got you by mistake. I apologize.
Okay. No worries. So we know that direct service wages are not great. So we have established
now unmuted.
that all SSP providers be paid $20 an hour, so that we can attract and retain qualified staff. Plus, many of the deafblind individuals use tactile ASL or ASL, and so that's really important to attract those skilled professionals. So our SSP advisory committee was established, and we have members from the deafblind community as well as those who are advocating for deafblind. The purpose of the advisory committee is to include the voice of the deafblind in the SSP program growth. And then we currently meet virtually, and then we also frequently email. So we have reached Cleveland, Dayton, Cincinnati, and then most of our services are here in Central Ohio, but we do have representation in those other major Ohio cities. So when we selected candidates, to participate in this pilot program. We looked at perceived need. Is the person's quality of life going to improve? Do they have additional supports? How much independence do they have, and how much independence could they attain if they had these services? How much isolation are they experiencing, and how much would having services relieve isolation? And then how much access do they have, and how much would the services improve their access? We also looked at diversity, age, race, ethnicity, gender, and diversity of deaf-blindness as well. We looked at regional representation. We looked at if other services were available, and then we looked at if SSPs were available in those areas. Interestingly, you all, I heard the tail end of your meeting about Art Possible, and interestingly enough, Columbus Speech and Hearing is collaborating with first the DD Council, and we are having a deafblind workshop in January, on January 25th. And it is a My Life, My Story workshop where we're gathering a group of individuals, 5 deafblind individuals, and they're going to be taught how to tell their story in a really engaging and exciting way, so that they can connect with other people and help advocate for deafblind. And then on February 2nd, and this has not been officially announced, so you all are getting the first-hand knowledge of this. So on February 2nd, we are collaborating with the Columbus Museum of Art, still the DD Council, and then Art Possible to do live presentations of these My Life, My Story deafblind stories at the Columbus Museum of Art. So we are super excited to be able to educate the public on deafblindness, advocate for more services, and connect with more deafblind individuals, as well as possible support service providers for those individuals. And then the last thing that I was going to share, based on what Janae had requested, was just information about what Columbus Speech and Hearing does. We know that as we age, we start to lose our hearing. And so Columbus Speech and Hearing does audiology screenings. They do hearing screenings. They educate individuals on different types of listening devices or hearing aids that may be beneficial. We also, I believe it starts in January, we have senior options funding that can help subsidize the hearing screenings, as well as assist with hearing aid purchases. And then you can find all of the services that we offer on our website at columbusspeech.org. Also, you can call Columbus Speech and Hearing and ask about more information. But we talk about the benefits of hearing aids. We talk about hearing screenings. We talk about hearing health. And then one last thing, they mentioned the National Institute of Aging has a really great website, webpage regarding hearing loss and different signs of hearing loss, types of hearing loss, causes of hearing loss, health effects of hearing loss. We know that cognitive decline increases when there is hearing loss. So making sure that you're taking care of your hearing health is really, really important. Let's see if I have anything else. Oh, another resource that you all may be aware of is Ocali, OCALI. They do a lot of educational information about deaf blindness. So if you or anyone you know would like to apply for deaf blind services, you can find the application on our website, or you can reach out to me at Columbus Speech and Hearing, and I can help you with the application. And then if you want any information about audiology services at Columbus Speech and Hearing, you can find that on our website, or you can call Columbus Speech and Hearing to find that. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Julie, can you spell your last name for me?
Sure. It's F as in Frank, E as in Edward, L as in Larry, T as in Tom, S as in Sam.
Also, can you give your telephone number out?
Yeah, sure. It is 614-261-5429.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Do you have, this is a question. I don't have a ton of money, but is there any way that individuals can like donate money towards the SSP pilot or the SSP program?
Yes, that is a great question. So we have a donation page on the website, and I'm going to ask them to add that to the selection box. But if you there's a notes field at the bottom, and if you say that you want to donate to the SSP pilot program, that is the best way to go about doing it.
And do you still offer the, I know when my grandfather passed away, he had hearing aids that he didn't use, and I did everything I could to try and get them to the program that you had at that time where you reconditioned them. Unfortunately, my wishes were not followed and they went somewhere else, and I was not very happy about that. But do you still offer that program?
We do, and we accept those. It's called a donation in kind. So we accept those hearing aids, and then we refurbish them, and then we get those to people who are in need and that maybe don't have enough finances to pay for.
Yeah, like I said, I really was hoping, and I made the people in the situation aware of your program, but unfortunately the person getting rid of things just got in a hurry, and they went somewhere that they very much should not have gone, and I was not very happy about it, but there wasn't much I could do. So I will try and let people know about that program if they're in a situation where somebody has, passed away, and my grandfather very much needed hearing aids but didn't think he needed them, and so I think they probably got very little actual usage, and so I was really hoping that they could go to what y'all do, but I wanted to make sure people knew about that in case they find themselves in that situation, or maybe they have had to upgrade to a newer pair, but the old ones still work enough that they might be useful for someone else. It's kind of like we have a program in Medina for the CCTVs, or what you might know as a video magnifier, where it's a platform and a camera that you put a document under and it magnifies it on a screen. Well, the same thing happens. People get them and get to the point where they're no longer usable for them, or someone passes away, and we have a program where those can be donated. So I wanted to make sure that people were aware of the fact that you have a similar program. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That is great. And yeah, I think that one of the things that our audiologist would say is similar to your grandfather. Most people, their hearing loss is progressive, and so they make accommodations and they don't realize they're doing it. And they just turn the TV up louder, or they move a
That's
little bit,
exactly what he did. Yeah.
yeah, move closer to the TV, and just they shake their head and pretend like they hear what people are saying, or just say yes because they're tired of asking people to repeat themselves. But what our audiologists have shared is that the more that happens, the more those people with the hearing loss start to disengage. They disengage socially, they disengage from society, they can't hear as well in those crowded areas, so they start to isolate more. That causes depression, that causes more cognitive decline, because there isn't that constant, interaction with other people. And it creates that isolation, and it leads to significant depression. We also noticed that. So getting your hearing tested is so incredibly important to maintaining your mental health and your cognitive health. So I would encourage all of you, and this isn't a plug for Columbus Speech and Hearing. This is, if you have a doctor or an audiologist that you like, please go and get your hearing tested, and make sure that you're taking care of that.
Hey, Julia, I have a question. It's Janae. Can you
Hi.
suggest about when audiologists are telling this information, how often should you get your hearing checked? Should it be once a year,
I was
twice a
just going to
year?
ask that.
That's a
Yeah.
great question. My guess is, as we get older, we should have it checked at least once a year. But I don't know the answer to that. That's a really great question. So I know for me, like, I went to our audiology department and I had my hearing tested, and I have a baseline now. So I know where I'm at right now. And so getting it tested each year, then they can compare it to the previous year and see, oh, there is change, or there's no change. You're doing great. You're taking care of your hearing health, or there's, maybe you do need to start to start considering hearing aids. So yeah, I would say probably once a year, once you hit a certain age.
Mary's hand is raised.
Yes, ma'am.
You are unmuted, Mary. You may speak.
Mary?
You are unmuted. You're ready to go.
You're unmuted.
Please.
Okay, we can, if there's anyone else, we can come back to her.
Come back to her. Okay, anyone else has a question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I want to know, could Julia's information be put out on an email to everyone? Because I really would like to talk to her.
Hey, Julia, could you either email me all your information, even though I think I have most of it, or in the email I sent to you, you can see I sent it to our. If you can respond to that, maybe, or yeah, send me the information. I'll make sure she has it. I'll make sure everybody has it. Let's just do that.
Okay.
Can you email me all the information, Julia, and I'll make sure the whole chapter has it.
Absolutely, I will do that.
Thank
you.
Now, Mary, you've lowered your hand. I don't know if you had something and did it the other way, or. Okay, you're unmuted if you wanted to ask something. Okay.
Which Mary? Is it Mary Carabitas?
It was, yeah. Yeah, Mary,
Mary
you need to
Carabinas, so
you
did,
need
were you,
to you've got your hand raised with *9, but if you want to unmute, you need to do *6.
star
and then
six?
speak. There. Oh, now it's muted again. I'm sorry, I don't know why you're having such a difficult time.
Okay. Is there anyone else with a question for Julia? I'll give Mary one more chance to try to unmute if she has the question. If not, we're going to thank Julia for being here. Mary Carabinas, do you have a question or a comment for Julia?
I don't know
Is
if
she
you may have
mute?
accidentally muted your if there's a mute feature on your phone. I don't know if you may have turned that on. You are unmuted as far as Zoom is concerned. There you are, I think.
Whoops, sorry. Can you
There
hear me
you
now?
go. Yes.
Oh, I don't know what maybe it was my phone. I don't know. Can you hear me now? There.
Yes.
Yes.
A little faintly, but
Okay,
we
good,
can.
thanks. Now if I remember my question. Oh, yes. We were talking about different art forms, and someone suggested bringing in your lenses or your old glasses. Do you, instead of
you're talking
doing
about,
that, instead of doing that, can we give those to you, old lenses and old glasses?
okay,
I'm
you
not.
talking about for Julia, or what are you referring to,
Oh,
Mary?
Julia, yeah, right, exactly.
For hearing aids?
No, I thought you were, it's speech and hearing. I thought it was vision too. Okay, sorry.
It is
Never
for
mind.
people who are, it is, hold on, Mary, it is for people who are deafblind, but she was talking about donation of old hearing aids. I don't know if they take donations for glasses, because they're primarily a hearing center. And we're
Okay,
talking about
I
individuals,
misunderstood that. Okay. The other question is, you talked about hearing health. What's a good way to help keep up your health? I mean, as far as your hearing and your ears are concerned.
That's a great question. I would say, first of all, like Janae suggested, getting your hearing tested so that you have a baseline of where you are with your hearing health. Another one is don't listen to super loud music. If you are around people who use heavy machinery or shoot guns, make sure that you're protecting your health, your hearing health that way. Make sure you're eating healthy and taking care of like your general health, because we know that sometimes, other illnesses can impact your hearing as well. So, but I would say the first and most important is getting that baseline hearing test.
Okay.
And there's a free hearing screening on Columbus Speech and Hearing's website. It's an online hearing test.
One thing I would say too, and this is something I have difficulty with, is I tend to wear headphones a lot, and I know I should probably not do that as often. But one upside to some headphones I have discovered is that I have the AirPods Pro 2, and they have noise cancellation. And what I've discovered is that if I turn that on and I'm in a loud environment, what I found is that I'm then able to turn the volume of my music down because I'm not trying to compete with that loud sound anymore. So it allows me to listen to music at a quieter volume and still get the amount of detail that I want. So while it's kind of, it might be a little bit of a problem because I probably should wear them less frequently, I do find that, for example, when I'm on the paratransit buses and they, shake, rattle, and roll like an amusement park ride, sometimes it feels like, it's nice to be able to cancel out some of that loud environment and actually turn my music down.
Yeah. So I know that it sounds kind of like general, my response. First, regarding hearing health, first, I'm not an audiologist. I just know what people have told me, being around the office. But like things like high blood pressure and allergies can cause hearing problems, including tinnitus, which is that,
allergies definitely make
yeah,
sense. Yeah.
it can cause that ringing in the ear. So that's one of the reasons why I said making sure that you're taking care of your general health. But loud noise and then like fluid buildup is probably one of the biggest causes. But if you have like diabetes, high blood pressure, anything like that, and ear infections, all of that can impact your hearing.
I wanted to say, I worked for General Motors for years, and one of the things that we had to do was wear ear protection. And, now that I've lost my vision, I thank God all the time that I really did wear that hearing protection. But, the noise pollution that we're around every day, sometimes we don't even think about it. For sure, our mainstream buses, some of them are very noisy. And I think to myself, how are the drivers in here listening to this all day long? I mean, I think about hearing protection, motorcycles, grass cutting equipment, leaf blowers, all that stuff is just super loud. And if you're exposed to it all the time, you don't really think about it, but they definitely can be robbers of our hearing.
Yeah, you are so right, Angela.
That's one of the things that the Apple Watch can be set to do, is to listen for sounds over, 90, 95 dB that are the kind of sounds that could cause hearing issues and alert you to them. I'm pretty sure mine is doing that, and I have never had one of those notifications yet, but I know that is something it is supposed to do. I don't know whether mine's working correctly or not, but it is something that if it works correctly on your watch, it should be doing for you.
Yeah. So at this time, if there's no other questions, I want to thank Julia for taking the time to share
you
a little
so
bit
much.
about Speaking Hearing Center and the service support program, co-navigator program. And I will make sure that everybody gets her information and the Speaking Hearing Center's information so you can share with others.
Wonderful. And if anybody has any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me or to Janae, and Janae can get in touch with me.
Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lee, contact me and let me know how I can get this